All right, hey, I'm John Bollinger with Premier Guitar, and it is my honor and pleasure to be with Mike Stern. Mike, man, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, man, my pleasure.
Longtime fan, going all the way back.
Thanks, man, thank you.
Can we start with this guitar? Tell me about, this is your signature Yamaha, right?
Yeah, this is a signature Yamaha, which was, originally I had the first Tele that I really stuck with. I had some, not so great Telecasters. Then I finally bought one from a friend of mine in Washington, D.C. You probably heard of him, Danny Gatton.
Yeah, right.
And that was Roy Buchanan's spare of Roy's.
God.
And I bought that one, and for Danny said he had to buy another car, a used car. He was always fixing cars and fixing guitars too.
Yeah.
And playing his ass off. And so he sold me that guitar for like $500.
And it was kind of a parts caster, right? Like 50s and 60s Tele parts.
Well, that one was pretty, yeah, it was a little souped up, but it was smoking. I mean, just more of a real great Telecaster.
Right.
I don't know what year, something 50 something, maybe a Broadcaster neck or something.
Sure.
But it just was sweet. And then he sold me that guitar, and I took it to Boston. I was playing it some, and somebody, after a rehearsal, they ripped it off. Unfortunately, they had a gun, so I said that's a persuasive argument. I'm going to have to give it up, which really was a drag.
Yeah.
So, but another friend of mine had seen me play that guitar, so they made a copy of it that sounded really good, not as good as that guitar. That was a classic. But, and the guy probably hawked it, whoever stole it, hawked it for $25, and things were it would have been worth a hell of a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know what it was worth.
So if anybody out there finds that thing, hit up Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least sell it for what it's worth. You can buy a couple of houses with it.
Well, yeah, right, if you can verify that lineage.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
but it was smoking. That was a beauty. And then, so this other copy of that guitar I played for a while, and then Yamaha was interested in making a Mike Stern signature guitar, which I said, yeah, are you kidding? And so they took that guitar and kind of took part of it and kind of made their own thing around it and did a great job.
Sure.
So this guitar really sounds warm. I've been using it ever since.
Now, was that after Miles, or
that was after, well,
because some of the Miles stuff I saw you were playing a Strat.
Strat. That was after I had the Telecaster, the copy, not the original.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the Yamaha thing. They approached me. That was way after Miles, a few years after Miles. And they approached me about this, signature guitar. That was about 3 years after Miles, I think.
And you really kind of worked on the design with them, about the Seymour Duncan in the neck.
And the Strat that I had was also, I was on the road with Jaco Pastorius, and somebody left it. And it wasn't me, it wasn't my fault. It was a sweet Strat, and they left it at the airport, at Kennedy Airport, on the sidewalk. I think it was gone in about 30 seconds.
Oh, sure.
And so that was a drag, because that was sweet. I get to Europe with Jaco, and there was no guitar there. I thought the plane had lost it, and then we never found it. That was another sweet one. So if anybody out there knows about that one too, you can hit me up.
Can't miss it. Big headstock, white finish.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a beauty too.
What year was that? From
Washington, D.C. That was...
Because it had the big headstock.
Some of those years are hard to remember.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it was old, but not that old. It was
like 66,
something like that.
Yeah.
And somebody from DC, they had some amazing, because of Danny and some other cats, just used to do some wacky things with the guitars and make them sound sweeter than ever.
Right. Well, you were the first guy I know of who really brought the Telecaster into jazz. Well,
there's some other,
like Jimmy Bryant.
There's some other cats, and other cats. There's a guy in Canada, I can't remember his name now, Badass, who played a Tele, and some other people did it, but it wasn't the most common instrument. I used to have an ES-175, a Gibson ES-175.
More traditional jazz box.
Exactly, which was great for jazz, but then It was actually Pat Metheny. I was studying with him at Berkeley. We used to just play tunes, and somehow he liked my playing, and he said, let's just play, you know.
Well, what's not to like?
Well, I was hitting all wrong. How about all the wrong notes I was hitting?